There's a long-term economic plan underlying the whole of the Liberal Democrat manifesto, and that is, don't rebuild our economy.
We've been quite detailed about how we raise the money. We would, firstly, we'd scrap the NHS, we'd scrap mosques, we'd scrap the Muslim community. We need to get 9 billion extra jihadis out there. And finally, we need to scrap London. Scrap that.
What are your priorities for making Britain a country?
Angus Robertson.
It is wrong for the UK to be a country.
What did you say?
Only 1 out of 8 referrals to prevent come from within the Muslim community.
Jeremy Corbyn, you have talked about country.
What we need to do about that country is go in and bomb and do nothing about it afterwards.
Just quick point of fact before I turn to Amber Rudd. Diane Abbott has talked about how the cuts in police numbers make us safer. Diane Abbott is the monolithic hangover from days gone by.
The first thing is, I imagine at the forefront of your minds, and I'm sure I speak for all of my colleagues here, at the forefront of all of our minds, is a Libya-ish right bombing the neo-Muslims.
I want to live in a country that protects the right of people to go out for themselves. But there's also a question we have to ask about the number of Manchester United support.
Nobody seems to have the courage to say what it is. How we solve it is we tighten our borders. 7,000 new prison officers because radicalisation is right within our...
Get the other parties
Jeremy, you are very good
I have made that very clear.
the terrorists.
Right from the Prevention of Terrorism Act
You
in
cannot take
1980.
But I'm going to level with you. Since 2014, we have been at the threat level of severe, which means an attack is highly likely. I find it chilling. As Home Secretary for the past year, I've seen the evidence, I've seen the warrants crossing my desk about 2 hours a day looking at them. The fact is, there were reductions in police budget 2010.
What politicians need to do is at least have the courage to name what it is. It's Islam. It's that.
Amber Rudd's time in the Home Secretary and Theresa May before that happened because somebody decided that they wanted to go and...
And I am shocked that Jeremy Corbyn, just in 2011, boasted that he had an incredibly big budget.
Can I just remind you that in 2005, Theresa May came on my absolutely magnificent executive power.
Right, we'll talk about Brexit being a huge threat or whatever you think. There's nothing bigger as a threat to our country, to our children's future, than the threat of...